Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be looking at this, which I probably can't fit in the whole screen because it's a big box. This is the Etymotic ER4XR, and this is the extended bass response version. I think is there an SR or something? This is actually my first one from the company. Opening the box, you're going to find this nice case, different from the Westone line. This is a nice soft case, but it has hard inside. Tons of pockets everywhere. Tons of accessories. You have the different filters, and you have your little tools to change them. Right here, I find that very nice. You have this, different types of tips. These are like a dual flange type tip. Then you have this package, which has the triple ones and the foamies, which are very unique foamies. They're kind of flat foamies. I've actually never seen them before like that. You also get this pouch here to store your different things. Here's the stock tips that it came with inside there. And I think that's pretty much it in this case. So this is a nice case. It says the name of the company right there on it, if you can even see that. I think pretty much that this is stopping that. Now you can see the case better. So it's a nice case, very nice accessories. This goes in here. And then you can just shove that in one of the pockets. And this also goes in one of the pockets. And then you get manuals and stuff like that, and a little sticker and a card. And then you get this, which is a very nice cable. Has a nice kind of feel to it, nice thickness to it. Nice separator right there. No, it's not a microphone, I don't think. I don't believe it is. And then it gets a little thinner right here. And then you have the units themselves. And of course these have those long nozzles, but it's a little different. It has a little ring around the tip there. And these also have a kind of proprietary connector, or maybe that actually looks like MMCX, to be honest. Just going to make sure I put it in the right direction. And then it clips in. Yeah, looking at them again, I'm pretty sure they're MMCX. I'll have to look and see if it says anything about them on the spec. So these are the chips that I tried out, and these kind of give a more kind of balanced sound. And I do like these. I tried the foamies. I actually tried the Westone tips on these too, which actually worked really well as you know, just an experiment in the different sound. So ultimately these are tiny, they're lightweight, the cable has a nice thickness to it. It comes with plenty of accessories, more so than I've ever seen, and this is like the cheapest, and it comes with a ton of accessories. This is, obviously it's not the cheapest in the Etymotic line. This is the more expensive, and then there's the SR, which is also, see if it says it. The ER4X is the earphone for music lovers and hi-fi enthusiasts who want uncompromising accuracy in the mid-range and high frequencies, but appreciate an extra presence of the lower end. Like the ER4SR, the XR is built with a precision machine anodized and laser-etched aluminum body, features user-replaceable detachable cables. The ER4XR also incorporates the stringent channel matching standard used in the SR. So, alright, let's see. Okay, on my notes for these now. And I'm just gonna, let me just quickly open the box up. It is a nice box where you just kind of pull it out, yeah. Inside the box you have the documentation and the other stuff. And you have the units and of course the case. So there's nothing we really missed. Overall, the box underneath the sleeve is like really soft kind of material. The first thing you're going to notice about these is the sound quality. These sound fantastic. There's no way around the way that they sound. There is like no harshness, no too much of anything. They're just, everything is just there. Even like, though these have extended bass, there is like nothing really just outdoing each other. There's still, I think I wrote in one of the presentations that I did for this was bass with a side of everything. And meaning you get really good mids, you get really good highs, you get soundstage, and you get bass. So what more could anybody want? These are really nice sounding overall. The bass is very, very good. The mid bass and upper bass is very, very distinguishable from the sub. The sub bass is there. It's not the front and center stage or the focus of this. I think that the mid bass is a little bit more prominent, and the upper bass. There's definitely a decent boom there, but there's more of a more impactful kind of slam coming from the mid bass. It's definitely heard. So sub bass, not the main focus of this. Bass overall in general is excellent. It is the focus, and it definitely gives you a kind of nice, kind of balanced, kind of sounding bass that has some funness to it, but also some really good details to it as well. Getting into the mids. Mids here are full-bodied. They have excellent clarity. The lower mids are warm and thick, but they definitely sound kind of rich and lush. The upper bass kind of just sounds very decent overall. It does kind of carry over some warmth. I don't think it sounds shouty at all, but it does have a forward kind of presentation and some really, really brighter details going in the upper mids. Getting down to the, getting up to the treble. The treble here has excellent ear. It definitely feels that the treble is kind of well reeled in. It definitely has some good control. There's no sibilance, but there is really great upper details. Just overall some decent kind of energy there. I think overall, though, it's more towards maybe a relaxed kind of presentation in the treble. Treble sensitive people will definitely like this, and it sounds natural. It don't get me wrong. It's not the most energetic treble, but it has some fairly good air and details to it as well. There is some good soundstage, and I'll get into that in just a second. I know I gotta read off the technical specs too for this as well. So this impedance is 45 ohms, so it's kind of up there with the ohms. It is a 3.5 millimeter connector. The frequency response is 20 to 16 kilohertz. It has a 3.5 millimeter jack. The driver is a BA Ultra Isolation. It is deep insertion, and the connector is MMCX. It isn't like the Westone where it's kind of a weird kind of proprietary thing. So you could probably put another cable on here, no problem. Actually probably have a couple of cables that would fit. I'm going to try that out after I've finished with my review and just fooling around with it, doing some experimentation with it. So, comfort-wise, if you can get past the air insertion, get past the triple or the double flange, you'll find it gets comfortable. You just gotta, the main thing with this is finding the right fit. So, ultimately, Soundstage has a decent width to it. And it's not the widest soundstage, and it's definitely not a deep soundstage at all, which, isn't surprising considering the shape of these and how they go deep in your ear and everything. It definitely is a very accurate soundstage. It definitely has, you can hear things from where they're coming from. The pinpoint kind of accuracy is good. So there's no problems there whatsoever. It isn't an overly wide soundstage like we did with the other ones, but it is more kind of toward intimate. I wouldn't say it is fully intimate. I would say it's smaller room kind of presentation, like if you were in kind of maybe a small nightclub and they were playing music, or maybe a coffee shop with a jazz band, something like that. But it works, and the positioning is good. So I think it would work for games. It may not be the greatest kind of fit for that, but it would work for that nonetheless, because it was like hearing things off to the side and they seemed like they were coming from the back or something like that. So it had very good, accurate kind of positioning. That said, ultimately, these are for somebody that wants to enjoy music. These have a fair amount of detail. They have an excellent amount of kind of a warm, kind of thick bass presentation with very healthy mid presentation and kind of a relaxed, kind of just natural sounding kind of treble that doesn't overextend itself, doesn't become harsh or anything. There's no sibilance from these whatsoever. There's no distortion from these either. Ultimately, I think a lot of people would like these, and changing the tips changes the sound, changing your device changes the sound, listening to poorly recorded tracks changes the sound. So that's all kind of subjective. So ultimately, let's just go with the fact that these sound very good. They have a healthy serving of bass. Sub-bass isn't the main thing on the menu, but it's still there in the background hanging out. I think mid-bass is more punchy, and I think mids in general are kind of warm and thick, so people will like them. Just overall, a nice pleasantness to it. Something you could listen to all day once you get past the fit. That said, these are the ER4XRs from Etymotic, and these have more of an extended bass response. And the bass also changes depending on the tips. Like when I put the Westone tips on there was a lot more bass going on. So that said, they come with some great accessories, case, tons of stuff, even change the filters and everything else. Just excellent. I actually want to try more of these. I want to try like the 3 and the 2s, because these are just excellent overall. I really like these. Thank you so much for watching. Please be safe, and I'll see you in the next video.